Men of Reddit, have you ever been catcalled in public? How did you feel about it? Does this even happen to guys? I've got green blue eyes, and given I've got a Mediterranean coloring, my eyes are really brought out, so I should be used to having comments by women over the years about my eyes, but I actually get really embarrassed when it happens. It's more awkward for me. It's one of the first things they say to me because I just feel put on the spot and don't know where to go from there. Thanks, I installed them last week. Took a while to find the right shade. After a Chicago Cubs game, walking past the bars and some chick who was totally s-faced started yelling at me that she thought I was cute and wanted me to come talk to her. Since I was with family, I just kept walking. And then some brodouche started yelling, "Hey bro, this girl wants to talk to you." Freaking Chicago man. Only time I can remember is back in high school when I was playing baseball. We were at an away game and just out on the field doing stretches and warm-ups while people got into the stands. I was near the stands but facing away from the crowd doing some stretches, bending over and touching my toes, squats, stuff like that. Things I did before literally every game. All of a sudden from behind me I hear, "You can keep doing that all night." My head whips around to see 3 girls all giggling. I'm sure my face turned beet red. I have to say, as a guy, it was a pretty nice confidence boost. I was stretching at work and a customer gave me a thumbs up. I felt uncomfortable because I was stretching due to my back pain. It happened a few times when I was younger. One time I was working at Woolco, Canadian store that eventually becomes Walmart. I was gathering carts through the relatively empty strip mall, and 2 women started following behind me. Back maybe, I don't know, 50 feet. Anyway, they started talking loud enough for me to hear. I would ride him so he couldn't walk, that sort of thing. I didn't know what to do. I was only 18 and pretty shy, so I just kind of hunched my shoulders and kept gathering carts. Another time I was walking through a mall downtown and a bunch of girls were hanging out. I remember I was walking really confident because that was around the time in my life I decided I was just going to fake feeling confident until I actually felt confident. So I walked by them and the lead girl said, "Now that is a man." That actually felt pretty good. I liked that one. I could have done without them being obviously mid-teens though. But, shrug, still was cool. A lot of times, although I think I am not really that attractive, the earliest I can remember was when I was 14 years old having a haircut. The friend of the hairdresser came in and she made a pop sound and she asked the hairdresser, "Can you ask him if he already experienced getting lollipopped?" And since then, I would always drag a friend or my cousin to accompany me going to salon barbershop. Well, that's a bit messed up. Most recent incredibly gorgeous blonde, very drunk, leans out the window of an SUV while I was walking by, yells, "Hey baby, I'm a mustache rider. Can I ride your mustache?" Yeah, honestly didn't believe it, thought it was a joke. Car of at least 2 girls driving by, more confused than anything. Some girl in a car yelled at me to lick her puss. I was in a real foul mood at the time. I yelled back at her to tell her off. She said sorry and drove away. When I got home I remembered she was really cute. I was like, I got a world record for no game. Somehow I managed to whiff on a girl asking me to eat her. Oh well, what are you gonna do? There's a 99% chance she wouldn't have taken you up on her offer had you accepted it. I was walking out of a casino in Las Vegas when a young woman walked past me. As she went by, she made a loud moaning noise which caught my attention enough to turn around. When I made eye contact, she gave me a flirty wink and smile. It was quite the ego boost at the time, and the only such occurrence I can remember. I think it had such an effect on me because compliments to men are sparse in general. Hate to break it to you, she was working, bro. I've not been catcalled, but I've had a girl squeeze my butt in a club when she walked by, which is assault, but I liked it. Then it's just a happy accident. One of my friends in high school was dummy thick, and when the black girls would get behind him going up the staircase, they'd grab at his butt and be like, "Dang, you got a booty." I always have girls coming up to me to say how beautiful my eyes are. Not exactly catcalling, but it kind of creeps me out. Also, according to my girlfriend, I have a nice butt. I sometimes catch women staring at it. It just makes me wish they were more impressed with what's on the opposite side. They're not. Yep, a few times. It's usually been at concerts though. Doesn't faze me at all. I somewhat appreciate the attention. The only time I felt uncomfortable was when working a concert, having girls come up and grab my package and grind their butt on it in plain view. Any other time I wouldn't have minded. But come on, girl. I'm trying to sell 50/50, damn it. Let a guy work. It wasn't uncommon in my younger years, from both men and women, but alas, not so much anymore. It was mostly just a bunch of shouting from their car as they drove by. One time I was walking home from high school, and a carload of homegenerals pull up next to me and start catcalling me. They were much older and all choloed out, with the makeup and everything. They were pretty aggressive, telling me all the things they wanted to do to me, and trying to get me to go with them. Being the terrified, confused teenager that I was, I took off running and they just sped off laughing their asses off. I always wonder what would have happened if I had gotten in the car with them. They would have drove your unlucky butt around the corner to have the homeboys rob you and leave you knocked out on the sidewalk. It's a common tactic. Yes, not to get into the whole gender politics of it, but the tenor of catcalling is different when the person doing the catcalling is half your size. I'm 6'6". I wouldn't say it's just okay for women to do it, but if I'm honest, it doesn't bother me like it would if a dude twice my size did it. I have been groped by women and that did bother me because it makes you feel powerless. Anything I did physically to push back would be seen as aggressive. That's interesting actually. Women feel vulnerable because they're less physically able to protect themselves, but I guess men have the sociological element making them powerless. It was in high school. Some guy had knocked my notebooks out of my hand and I went to pick them up when a group of girls all started yelling about how they wanted to frick me and how butt looked good. Now, I'm gay, so I'm used to girls trying to throw themselves at me because I'm so good at understanding women. But I have never felt so uncomfortable in my life. So my reaction to tell them all to go die in a hole was justified. I feel like it has happened like 3 times or so. I don't mind it. Chicks can catcall me all they want. I'll gladly take the compliment. Happened in college. I was walking down the street when a dude in a passing car yelled "Hey baby" at me. Now back then I had long thick curly hair and they initially only saw me from the back, but the look of disappointment when they saw me from the front and realized I was a dude was priceless. I can't stop laughing because of what my brain imagined what it went like eye roll. It happens a fair bit, and I'm just an average looking guy. Usually happens when women are drunk and bar hopping. I don't know if there's a construction site equivalent for women, so it doesn't really happen during the day, man or woman. It happens more often when people feel safe, uninhibited, and are in a pack. As for how I feel, it really depends. I have mostly felt flattered though, and I have never feared for my safety. Twice I've been groped by women, which takes it too far, and I feel extremely violated. Mostly it's quick, flattering, and non-threatening. Totally get it. I'm anything but a prude, but touching is too far. A dude in the showers at my gym, LA Fitness, was masturbating to me in the showers once, if that counts. I said what the frick and he got embarrassed and apologized and scampered out of the showers soaking wet. I felt a combination of shock and amusement. I had never seen a dude beat off before and I gotta say we look pretty silly in the act. One time a busload of schoolgirls rolled by and they started yelling and cheering at me out the window and I had no clue what was going on until my GF clued me in. I read the title as "Have you ever been called a cat in public?" and spent a good 10 minutes trying to think of a scenario in which this would happen to anyone. Happened to me once that I can think of, by a black girl that was walking past my car as I was sitting at a red light. Can't even remember what she said, but yeah, it felt nice. Would have gone around the block for a second take but was on the way to pick the wife up from work. LOL. Was riding with a friend somewhere. I'm aware I'm not extremely handsome. At a stoplight I hear "Hey," I look over and see a car full of young high schoolers. I could tell probably very popular chads, Driver bro says she wants your number man and thumbs to the backseat where a girl is full body cringing. My friend who I was riding with threw a plastic bottle across me, out the window, hit her car and shouts shut the frick up and drive. Light turned green. My self-esteem turned red. One time while I was stopped in traffic with my windows down, and next to me was a truck full of girls blaring loud music, I randomly glanced over at them while one of them in the front passenger seat happened to be looking in my direction. When our eyes met she started giggling and I could hear her telling her friends that I was checking her out. She shouted hey, which made me look over at her, and she said you're so cute. I felt my face immediately turn hot. Said thanks, and I started stuffing down some of the chic filet waffle fries I had just bought. About 5 seconds later the light turned green and luckily they turned at the next plaza and I never saw them again. It was flattering, but very awkward. Looking back I think I probably would have started flirting back, but didn't due to the facts that A, I was in a relationship at the time, and B, even if I was single then, I was 23 at the time and the girl who was flirting with me looked like she could have been under 18. A girl yelled you're gorgeous out of her friend's passenger window as they drove by. Honestly it felt kinda nice. I don't get a lot of compliments, nor do I have a very high opinion of myself. I wasn't mad. I recently went out drinking after a wedding while still dressed up, and had a girl grab my butt while I was leaving a bar. My wife, whom I was with at the time, was proud. Huge ego boost for me. Yes, often. It's very annoying. Creepy homeless men, gay men, drunk old ladies. Last time some crazy black homeless guy giving me the Samuel Jackson stink eye while shouting something about his dong at me. Drunk ladies are the worst as they will straight up shoo-all at me. I get catcalled or wolf whistled at 1-2 times a year, more often by women, but sometimes by men too. The catcalls by women tend to be generic you're hot, and usually happen in the middle of the day, often when I'm out running. A lot of times it's women yelling out of a passing car. The catcalls by men tend to be more explicit, for example, comments about my butt, and in circumstances that make me feel unsafe. For example, when I'm walking alone late at night, I feel weird about it, especially since I would never catcall someone myself. Once or twice it has given me a small confidence boost, but generally it feels invasive, and as an introvert, I really hate any yelling. It's definitely not the right way to get into my heart pants. The times when I have been catcalled in explicit terms when we're alone on the street are definitely unpleasant, and made me worry about what the person might try to do next. Yup, I was in extremely good shape, gym every day followed by cardio and ate stupid healthy, was trimming the lawn with my shirt off and 2 girls passed by. As they got out of my field of vision I hear the catcall. Unfortunately they were the 12 and 14-year daughters of my neighbor. When I told him he laughed and said, they probably learned it from their mom. Yikes, sounds awkward. I think the male equivalent is getting flashed some boobies, though I actually was catcalled once when I was a teenager too. Some chicks driving by while I was walking with my skateboard to the spot. I was out on a run in the Chicagoland area, more specifically Carroll Stream. As I'm running along, this mid-aged woman with a cane calls out MMMM, MMMMMMM. Look at them little legs run. At first I didn't realize what she said. Then I ran faster away from there. Quit running during that time of day after that. I was a little creeped out to say the least. I was sitting at a cafe with my friend by the window, and this girl runs up and knocks on it. We both stare at her and wave awkwardly. She points to me and does the finger in a circle gesture to me, and I just awkwardly smiles. She nods to me and shake my head, then she heads off. I was so sure it was some bad YouTube prank or something, but nope. Felt kinda disgusted, but also good. I was loudly catcalled by a group of high school aged, probably, girls driving by once. That was kind of weird for me considering I was a couple years out of school at the time. How you're supposed to uncreepily react to that, I do not know. It was more awkward than anything. Being called out in public for any reason is uncomfortable at best. That could just be my social anxiety talking, although I'm fairly certain most people feel this way. I used to have really long hair, went about 3 years after high school without cutting it. Nice shade of auburn too, not to brag. When I sat down though, it wasn't too obvious I was a 6 feet 3 inches young man. Once a middle-aged man saw me from behind, assumed I was a young red-headed woman and called me over. Being as smart as I stood up to face him, and in the deepest voice I could do replied, "Thanks man." I'll never forget his look of horror and shame. I've been catcalled by gay men before. To be fair though, I was hanging out with my gay friend at a gay bar, so it only made sense. I grew my hair long in high school, also played soccer, so I had good quad and butt muscles. Was about 6 feet 3 inches. Guys though I was a tall girl. Later on in grew to 6 feet 9 inches, clearly not a female. So from behind girls would hit on me, but I had an awkward baby face, so that didn't matter in the end. Now I'm in my 20s, bulked out, grew a beard, now it feel good 50% of the time and annoying the other 50%. I've been catcalled in public a few times. Usually I'm put off by it because I have low self-worth, so I find it hard to believe people would find me attractive. Just the other day someone kept trying to get me to flip my hair because I have moderately long hair for a guy. I just felt weird. Not me, but my dad. One time he went to a club, not a stripper club thank God, with his mates, and a girl in her early 20s came up to him and said, "I need a man like you. There aren't many men like you." My dad kept trying to gesture that he is married and plus he's in his late 30s. She asks him about doing a job for her. My dad does plastering and he brought up what he does in conversation since she wouldn't leave him alone. My dad gets out his phone to do something and this girl grabs my dad's phone and puts her number in it and walked off back to her friends. Honestly, it's flattering. I'm 32 and out of shape now, but 20-year-old me was a buff bee. And I ain't no George Clooney, but noticing someone checking you out is enough to make your day. Bars and older women all the time. They squeeze your butt, they eye you up and down. They normally think they are invincible and normally they look like dogs. I wish I'd seen this one earlier, but yeah, I have on several occasions. It's mostly by groups of teenage girls late in the evening. When I lived in Bourne, there was a group of them that would hang near the closest supermarket and they would catcall me every now and then if I'd go to the store after dark. And in various cities in the Netherlands it happened when going on a walk at night. It felt a bit weird and I wasn't sure how to react, so I just ignored them in every instance. I used to work in a hotel. I'm a straight male that's been catcalled by gay men a lot. Nothing against it, just, well, men are men. Gay, straight, it doesn't matter. Men are men, lol. I once had a dude come in and ask for something from one of the sales managers he had been talking about with them. He called about 5 minutes later and asked if I was gay cause he thought I was cute, lol. One weekend there was a huge gay pride event close to the hotel. I've never been more hit on in my entire life, lol. Huge confidence booster tbh, lol. I don't know if it would be catcalling, but last week at Walgreens a lady stopped me to tell me how much she liked my beard. I'm a photographer here, so I go out and do public shoots with very attractive men and women. I've literally never heard a guabjet catcalled, but it happens to every single one of my female models. My boyfriend gets catcalled all the time, usually when I'm there with him. It only bothers him because it bothers me, lol, but otherwise I don't think he minds. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.